Well, we want her. We want to find the hill giant conch, right?
So
So,
yeah,
the location of what's his name? What's Goo
Yeah, goo.
Goo
yes,
and
Chief Goo was the.
Chief Goo?
I just realized my mic was muted for that whole intro, so I'll have to edit it
No,
all
I
out.
heard the intro.
No, we
No,
heard
it
your
was muted on
hopefully the
my
whole thing.
OBS session.
Oh,
So
on your
you'll
video.
just video of me
Uh-huh.
talking silently.
You'll have to
Yeah, I'll
ADR
just
it
cut
later.
in right where we picked up here. Yeah, so Chief Goo is the leader of the Hill Giants, and likely has one of these conches that can take you to at least some of you to Maelstrom. But you didn't actually get. Did you get? I don't remember. Actually, I don't think you got confirmation of that from the Oracle directly. But it's
That the
definitely
hill
she is.
giants have a
She,
conch.
yeah. Well, definitely there were all representations of the different giant families, if you will, the different levels of the pre-ordning, pre-shattered ordning. So yeah, the hill giants would have been one of them that had a conch.
Okay.
And she is definitely Chief Goo is the head of the hill giants, who you again had previously tried to seek out when you captured those two giants that surrendered at the Battle of Golden Fields, and they led you on a merry chase all the way up and down the countryside, but got lost and could not figure out how the hell to get there.
Okay. Do we currently have her bound in any way?
Yeah,
Down in
I
any
thought we
way?
tied her up.
Well, you were going. Actually, I reviewed that session and again, and I was actually thinking about it. The last time when you captured those two hill giants in Golden Fields, it was pretty evident to you that rope wouldn't do the trick. The rope break DC is something like 17, which for a hill giant would be, they'd be able to break that without hardly breaking a sweat. In Golden Fields, you had actually bound them in chains, which they had in the village, and they were constantly under guard too. So right now, all you guys have is a rope, which you were able to, you could get that from the airship because they have all those harpoons with rope, but they don't have anything like chains really, or something of that strength.
Well, we can bind her as tight as we can, and in the end, she was knocked unconscious by us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody else, I think I'm still a gorilla. So somebody else talk, and if things go poorly, we'll knock her out again. I mean,
Well, I suppose you could hold her.
yeah.
Yeah, that would come down to like an opposed grapple type check, but
But I want to tie her up still before.
Yeah, yeah.
well, yeah, you've got
Because that would at least it would make it harder for her to try to
you've
escape.
got plenty of rope, so I mean, it's really not so much the amount of rope as the strength of the rope itself, as far as whether she might be able to break free. But you're definitely able to tie her up, although she's unconscious because you basically beat her unconscious. It's not like she's just resting, so you don't really have much chance to wake her up. But it is an endeavor because she's basically on her back. So to tie her up, you have to have a couple of you roll her over, put the rope around, roll her back, and it's a big amount of effort. But with a bunch of work, you could probably get the job done in like maybe a half hour or so, going back and forth, and she won't have woken up by then.
It's good to me.
Do you have any other spells or anything we can use?
I'm a monkey. I can't do anything.
How long does your
Right.
spell
It
last?
lasts an hour. So to me, I guess with the monkey, you're telling me that we wouldn't have to. He's pretty dexterous, couldn't he? Do the tying and the rolling to make it faster.
With the monkey, yeah, actually, no. If the monkey's helping move her back and forth, I mean, she's still really heavy, but it would probably cut it down to maybe more like 10 minutes or so.
Okay, let's do that.
So you've got 45 minutes or
The spell
so.
lasts an hour.
Yeah, so you've got about 45 minutes left on your spell. after having her completely bound, but she is still unconscious. Let me see how long she will remain that way, which you guys really won't know unless you do something to revive her.
Well, we could use like, well, we got a cleric, but he's not here.
Yeah,
So,
he's in the stupor at the moment.
could we do a medicine check?
To try and revive or to bring her out of back
Yeah.
from unconsciousness. I'd say you'd have to roll pretty high DC to do that.
Hmm.
If you can try. We'll see if you want to
Oh,
try and
I
see
guess
what you
the
get.
problem is I'm still a monkey.
Let me see. Voldry.
Kyle, do you have any spells that might be of use?
I was reading
Here?
through it, not really.
Yeah, I don't really have anything either.
I have things that like hypnotic pattern, which would like it. It makes them charmed, but like they wouldn't. It's not like we could question her while she's charmed. Probably. I don't
Well,
really.
isn't it? Can we just, when she wakes up, we say, calm down, and start talking to her right away. We don't need to do anything until she's a threat, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean I could use things like hypnotic pattern if she becomes a threat,
Oh, yeah.
kind of thing.
Instead
But
of punch.
I don't think it would help us unless she was threatening.
No. Let me just see. I'm looking through Voldry's spells to see if any of these are ritual. Not
I
that
could make a tiny hut.
none that he has prepared on his sheet. He could cast a healing word on her. If you want to revive her.
All right. Well, you guys are gonna have to talk or ask questions. So,
Who speaks giant?
Just a minute here.
I do.
Okay. So, Kyle, if you want to take the lead on the questioning.
Yeah. I'll translate for you guys as well. Do either of you speak giant, or am I translating for you what she says?
I do, but I'm a monkey.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I
but
do
you can
not.
understand what she says.
So you understand what she's
Yeah,
saying.
you
So
just-
Yes,
I guess
I
I'm
would
really
understand.
just
Yeah.
I don't think it.
translate.
Well, yeah, I don't think you could actually talk as even as a simian creature. Your mouth is fairly similar, but it's still kind of alien, and
You probably don't have the same vocal cord.
right, you're not used to moving such a big
capability
tongue
kinda
around between those big teeth and
Yeah.
fangs. So you say stuff that maybe came out half coherent, and actually, I can't remember if that what your ability does gives you the intelligence or not.
It's
Anyway,
the
kind of
polymorph spell, but anyway.
yeah, we'll moot that off to the side and we'll let Kyle deal with it. So she wakes up with the healing word, and she kind of shakes her head, and then kind of like her eyes adjust to the.
Hey,
Is that what you're saying to her?
calm down.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
Yeah. Her eyes adjust, and then she
Catching her
blinks around and
attention.
looks at you, and then she tries to sit up, and then realizes that she's bound, and she starts struggling like she wants to try and break free of the
Nope.
bonds.
do you really want us to have to kill you?
Can't kill Moog. Moog's strong.
Moog, are you hungry, Moog?
I'm starving.
All right. How about you answer some questions and we'll get you some food?
Okay. Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Swish.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Okay. At the promise that you'll bring her food, she quiets down and says, "You bring Moog food."
Yes, we will bring you food if you answer some questions for us.
What questions you want to know?
Oh, so Moog, you're a hill giant, and your leader is Chief Goo. Is that correct?
Don't say her name.
Okay. You don't like the leadership of your tribe?
Moog hates Goo. Moog stole Goo's husband.
Or
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 did I
was it
say that right?
the other way?
Yeah, Goo.
I assume it.
Goose,
I
yeah.
assume you meant the
Goose
other way.
stole
Or
Moog's
maybe she
husband.
didn't. She's not all
Right?
that bright. Apparently, the DM isn't bright either.
Okay.
Getting a little too much into character there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, Goose stole. Goose stole. Goose stole Moog's husband. She
Would you
banished
like
Goo.
to see?
Moog. I'm getting him.
Yeah, I think I knew what you meant.
Goo banished all females, hill giants.
All females?
Took all our husbands. Now they're all slaves of Goo. Moog will never
Would
see.
you like your husband back?
Yes. Moog Miss Rock.
Well, what if?
Ask her how she got. Ask her how she got stuck in the tower too.
Well, she wasn't stuck in there. She was just sitting in there.
Oh, I thought she was.
No,
trapped
no,
in
she
there.
she
Okay,
had just
never mind.
apparently climbed in.
Okay, never mind.
I mean,
What would you
it
like?
was pretty obvious she didn't come in through the door, but a big part of the wall was missing when she came in.
Oh, we could help you get your husband back. We could take down Goo for you,
You could take down
or
Goo.
with you, if you. Yeah, we could work together.
Goo, powerful. Goo has lots and lots of allies and guards, and
But you're powerful, and look what we did to you.
Moog not that powerful. But you think you could get Hruck back for Moog?
Yeah, we could help you. Do you have other female hill giant friends that want their husbands back too? We could band together.
No, Moog all alone. Nobody likes
Aw.
Moog. And she starts sobbing.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? You seem great.
Moog just want husband back. Moog not care about any
Well-
others. Just Hruck.
Well, Well, where is Goo? We could help you get your husband back.
Goo is at Grudd with all the husbands.
Where's Grudd?
She stops and thinks for a second, and then, just a minute. Need to look outside. Can you untie me?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's,
Now we won't tell her we won't feed her though.
If
she
you-
tries to hurt
if you
us.
try to hurt us, we aren't gonna feed you, and you're not gonna get your husband back. Though, remember that.
Okay. No. If you help find Hruck and bring food, then yeah, no problem. She kind of rolls
Yeah,
into a sitting
and-
position, which is actually kind of a awesome sight to behold. She's sitting up, so now it's a lot easier to untie the ropes if you want to from the back or from wherever the knot
Yeah.
is that you tied, or knots
I'll-
probably plural.
I'll motion to the ape.
I will untie.
Okay, yeah, and with that, she's able to kind of shrug herself out of the ropes, and then she starts kind of climbing her way up the stairs. Not so much walking up the steps as just kind of vaulting over them. And then she gets to the big hole in the side of the wall, and she just kind of like leaps over that and crashes to the ground outside. You guys can feel the impact even inside the tower yet. I believe you had moved that boulder out of the way last session that's at the entrance,
Yes.
so you guys can
Yes,
just
we did.
walk.
Yeah, so we'll walk outside.
Yeah, you can
and
just walk
meet
out the
her.
front door. And she's kind of standing there looking around, and there's a complete circle, and then kind of stops and points like vaguely in the direction of the south and says, Grudd that way.
Would you like to lead us there and we can get your husband back?
Moog could do that.
All right. Well, let's work on getting you some food, and then we can head down that way.
Okay. Okay. Where's food? You go hunting?
Well, our is our ranger able to go hunt?
Well, can't we just
Yeah,
good
yeah.
berry? Don can make.
Well,
good
the problem
berries.
is the two people that make good berries are NPCs, right?
I know, but can we have Don make good berries?
If you recall, well, you were feeding the hill giants good berries before, and they kind of treated him.
Yeah.
While that would be very sustaining for like a human or medium-sized creature, the hill giants kind of were eating them like popcorn. They just like,
No, I know, but I think like he can make 5 a day. I think, or 5 per casting, and I think we just handed him all 5, and we're like, here you go, and that's kind of like to make up for that.
Well, and I know
It's got to
Dave,
be
you can
bigger than
make-
a grape. I mean, if it feeds a person for a day,
well, it's somewhat magical in nature too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd imagine if one of them feeds a person for a day, if they eat
Imagine it being
15
more
of them,
food.
that's
It's like Pippin eating the
gotta be
Limbas.
filling at some point.
One of them can.
I'll be back. Sorry.
Yeah. So if you're gonna go the good berry route, yeah. Well,
At least it's just to tide her over.
Yeah, and we'll hunt while we're en route for more food.
okay. Yeah, she's very skeptical about the good berries, but it's the same scenario that you ran into with the hill giants before. That need more than just little berries to keep me going. But yeah, after she pops one in her mouth and then pops 5 more in her mouth, 4 more, however many the good berries you keep supplying for her, she's a little bit satisfied, but Moog wants something meatier. We can hunt. Moog
Yeah.
usually catches boars around the area to eat. So we can
Sure. We'll help you.
We'll help you.
Okay. Well then we can go then?
Yeah, let's head towards Grudd Hog.
Okay. What are you guys going to do about the airship? Because you have it parked some distance away.
Doesn't one of us have sending or no?
One of us does, but I think it's Don.
Is it Don? God, why is Don gone?
Well, how far away did we leave it? I didn't think we left
No,
it that far.
I mean,
But it's the opposite direction, isn't it? Or...
Yeah, but I mean, first of all, we're going to be fairly
Oh.
easy to track, I would imagine, because we're
Yeah, but
following a hill
Yeah,
giant.
Don has
Fair enough.
sending, but
I
it's
could
not a
just-
ritual spell, and he didn't have it prepared. So
Okay, I can run back there, tell them, and then make my way back.
Well, we also have the ability to like polymorph. You could turn into something that can get there quicker.
Well, it's-
do,
yeah, it's-
but I have.
it's not
boots of
parked
speed.
far. In
I have
fact,
boots
it's
of
probably-
Oh
speed
yeah,
as
you
well.
have boots of speed. I forgot about that. Yeah, you can
I
just
could click my
run.
boots of speed, just run back there, say, "Hey guys, we're heading roughly in that direction. Kind of
Shadow us.
shadow us a bit. Stay out of view if you can. Shadow us in that direction. We'll get back in touch with you as soon as we can. We're following a hill giant."
okay, so all right, so they ask how you're going to get in touch with them and how long it's going to be.
No idea. We'll get Don to remember to memorize that spell, or I'll come back and make like I'll light a big bonfire or something, make a signal.
Okay.
Yeah, and kind of follow us so you're nearby as well. So it'll you don't stay here, and it should be pretty easy for us to let you know.
Yeah.
We'll run back to you.
Well, so you want them to follow you?
Yeah, like
but
shadow us,
Stay
but, like,
behind us.
stay
Shadow us.
Behind.
Come slowly behind us.
Okay, because it would be pretty evident. I mean, they wouldn't be able to travel too high off the ground, so they'd be pretty evident to.
There is like a looking glass, isn't there? Like they can.
Are there any mountains or hills nearby? Any
Yeah,
landmarks
could we see
at
the
all?
map again?
Sure.
Just to get an idea of the terrain.
Yeah, right now you're in very hilly territory. Basically, the Desran Hills.
So, assuming we're like where the T is in Tower, I don't know if that's exactly
Well, you're
where
basically
we are, but like,
right around where the airship is.
okay, so assuming we're
Sure.
where the airship is, what direction-ish did Goop or not Goo, the other one,
Moog. Yeah,
The one
now I
that-
got you doing it.
Moog.
Ooh.
Yeah, Moog Point.
Well, she just basically pointed to the south.
So kind of
Okay.
off this way somewhere.
Is there a
not-
big ass hill, like one of them that's bigger than the others, or that stands out?
Thumber
You're looking
Hills?
for a landmark in the current area?
Yeah, like looking
Um,
around. Is there one hill that stands out?
There's probably one within a miles within sight of where you are, at least.
Because I could say just go land at the top of that hill. When we need you, we'll come find you, or we'll cast ascending to send you. But we're heading off, and I'll tell them what direction we're heading off in.
What do we know about Belliard? They could just hang out there and we could come meet them there, kind of thing.
Yeah, but would Yarder be closer? Because we've been to Yarder.
Well, we know we're going south.
You've been there. Actually,
No, I know that, but we don't know how long. How
I
far.
don't know that the others have been there. The actual the actual airship has been there. Belliard, let's see. You guys haven't been there. What you know of it, it's a market moot for local cattle drovers. Surrounds the intersection of the dusty Deseret Road and the Stone Trail. Home to many cattle ranchers whose herds roam the hills around the village, particularly to the east. Has a public well, has a pond.
Sounds attractive to giants. hill giants,
Yeah, and
so they can
yeah,
steal
they
cattle.
definitely are probably have been one of the towns or areas that have been subject to hill giant attacks.
All right, well, let's send them off to Belliard.
And we'll
And
come.
we'll meet them
meet you
there. We'll
there.
come to there.
Okay. All right, so you're going to send them off?
Yeah, to Belliard,
Yeah, yeah,
and we will meet them.
and
Oh
tell
my
them
God.
what's going on so they're aware.
Yeah, they know we're gonna follow the hill giant to.
Like if we suddenly end
Root
up
hog.
missing and they find 5 splotches of meat out in the middle of the hills, they know what.
that was us.
Well, how long are you going to be? I guess that's mainly what I'm asking.
You will hear from us within 7 days.
Sure.
So
Okay.
by 7 days, we'll either be back or we'll send you a message.
Let me see. Okay.
Okay. And they don't really have much money or anything, right?
Pretty much only what you give them.
Yeah. Well, I'll
They have
give them.
they have just like a basic amount of coin that they had before they went on all this,
Yeah.
but
I'll give them 100 gold and say, drink, be merry, have fun.
oh yeah, definitely we
while
will.
you're there.
Yeah, they have no problem with that, and
Find some good accommodations, drink, be merry. We'll be there, in about 7 days. You'll hear from us.
okay. So, do you want them to leave immediately, or do you want them to wait until you head off?
Wait until we head off. That way it doesn't scare the giants in any way.
Okay.
I don't know what other giants might be around or anything, so just let us head out. And
So far, you've just encountered the one.
she did mention that that all of the females were kicked out, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Curious to learn more about that.
Well, this is definitely hill giant territory, and aside from any rogue females that are out there, you still got other roving packs of hill giants raiding the communities, as far as you're aware. But for now, it looks like the only one in the immediate area would be Moog. I keep calling her Moog like the synth. It's spelled the same. All right, so you depart the airship, head back to Moog, and yeah, she's ready to go. So if you do want to do no other preparations, she starts heading off to the south.
All right, let's head off.
Okay. So, you travel for, let's see. If you're on foot, you're basically, I know, I've got to think here. I'm pretty sure that you guys are the slowest of you, still has a speed of 30, if I'm not mistaken. It's been quite a while since you guys went.
Honestly, yeah, my speed is 30, so
Yeah, I don't think any of you are reduced in speed. So in that case, basically, if you're going to keep a steady pace, then giants actually don't move any faster than people do. Which actually is kind of weird. No, actually, hill giant speed is 40, but it's not that much for it. She would keep her speed, although she'd, keep forgetting that you guys had short legs, so she'd probably wander ahead a little bit. Then you'd shout at her, "Hey, wait up! You're outpacing us." Then she'd stop and look real impatient, and you'd catch up with her. But 24 miles a day would basically be your normal rate of travel. So at the end of one day, heading south, you would be probably about, let's see, about here-ish. So I'm just going to use the airship as a counter for the party, just because it's right there.
that's
Even
fair.
though you're not in the airship. So after a day, you get to about there, and the sun's starting to set. Do you want to keep walking, or?
What is she gonna do?
Well, she wants to hunt for food.
I will go with her.
All right, well let's hunt.
Yeah, let's
let's
hunt. Let's spend the night here hunting and
Okay.
gathering food.
Groot, you have an ability, I believe, that.
I do. In addition, I can find food and fresh water that will feed 5 people. But I'm guessing
Or one
or
Moog.
one Moog.
Yeah,
Maybe we
basically
can have the
that's.
good berries and give the food to Moog.
Yeah, that would work. So yeah, you can basically use your ability to find enough food. Which normally she'd eat the equivalent of 2 wild boars in one sitting. So that would.
That's about 5.
Yeah, exactly. So your ability would feed her, and you can use the good berries to eat, and we'll just kind of hand wave it that either Mirror or Valdry have enough wherewithal to be able to actually cast that. I'm fairly sure it's actually Mirror that casts it.
I think both of them have it as a cantrip. I
Yeah, I
thought.
think
No,
both
it's
of
not a
them.
cantrip. It's like a
Oh, it's not a
a
cantrip.
first level
It is.
spell.
It's-
Oh,
Yeah, I don't
okay.
see it.
But I think you could ritually cast it, can't you?
Oh, yeah, it's first level. Actually, I have it.
Oh, you're the
Oh,
one who
you have
has it. I knew
yes,
2
I
people
can do it,
had
but I
it.
don't have it prepared. I have healing word.
Mirror
Ah.
can cast it too, so one of you can handle the rest of you.
Yep.
Oh, and yeah, because it's the other thing I was going to mention is Felgalos is also still with you guys. So did you want him accompanying you on foot, or did you want him to stay with the airship?
He's
We need to
he
keep.
looks like a half elf, right?
Well, he's in
an elf,
halfling
or-
form.
Halfling, that's what
Yep.
it was.
I think keeping a dragon around is a good idea if he doesn't mind.
Yeah, I think he should join us on
Yeah.
foot though, as a halfling.
Yeah,
Hang out
he
with us.
agrees. Even though he's not anxious to tangle with giants directly, he would feel much more comfortable hanging out with you guys than if it came to that, he would just kind of fly off on his own if you didn't want him to come. But he'll hang out with you guys for a while. So between him and the rest of you, that I guess would be 6. So that would be normally, yeah, you'd have to use both good berries to keep everyone fully fed, unless you wanted to tell him to just Felgalos to get his own food, which he could do.
Well, you just have to cast it twice, right? So one person can use two
Right.
first level spell
After this
slots,
first
yeah.
day, you'd be able to kind of coordinate things so that it wouldn't be a normal resource issue. It'd just be
Yeah.
like one less spell, and like Paul said, I mean, Grudd could prepare one, and Mirror could prepare one, so that you're not one person isn't eating up all their slots for it.
Yeah.
How long do they last? Because someone could just cast like 4 of them before we go to bed and get in there.
Let me just see. Oh yeah,
24 hours.
24 hours. So yeah, someone could just cast like 4 of them, and then we could go to bed, and we'll have like 20 of them on hand.
up to 10 berries appear in your hand. So
Oh shoot! Well, we'd have 40 of them then. Never mind.
Yeah, and then she starts getting hungry. We can always throw her some, at least to tide her
yeah,
over.
kind of like a dessert or something. Aperitif.
Could be
Okay.
high.
Either way, you're able to find wildlife for Moog, and between the spellcasters, you can get enough food for the rest of you guys. So after that, you're going to be able to camp for the night. Do you want to spend time outside, or do you want a hut thing going, which the giant wouldn't be able to fit in? How do you want to handle that?
I think we should camp outside with everybody else.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah.
We can all camp outside.
Yeah.
Okay. So you make your camp. You can probably light a fire without too much worry. You've got a big giant with you, and most of the wildlife is kind of staying away from you because of that. It's not like she's quiet or anything. She sobs a bit more as she bunks down for the night, talking about how she's going to rescue Hook and make sure that her new friends, take out the eyes of Goo and anyone who's ever helped her take her husband away. But eventually she falls asleep, and apart from her very loud snores, you guys can do a standard watch. And the night passes pretty uneventfully. The morning, she wakes up and immediately attacks you guys, not remembering who you are or why she's there. So you get into a great big pitched battle, which I'm not going to go through, but you'll need to make another persuasion check to calm her down.
Who's got the
that ain't-
sexiness?
Do I get advantage, or do I just do a regular
It would
one?
just be a regular one. Unless you
All
want to use your inspiration.
Nope. I persuade shit.
Okay.
I have a +6.
Paul, you want to give it a whirl?
I have a +6, and you still outrolled me with your -1.
So for every roll past,
I'll try.
for
I'll
every
give it a
additional
Hail
roll,
Mary.
basically, I'm going to pitch this battle such that everyone takes 1d6 of damage. Okay, so we're up to 3d6.
So we do it again?
Do I get to try again, or?
Sure, you
Yeah,
can keep
go,
trying. It's
Kyle.
basically every attempt.
Yeah, I'll just.
Okay, so that
Oh,
one
thank
works. So
God.
3d6. Everyone takes 12 points of damage before you're able to calm her down and explain to her, hey, we're friends. Remember, we're going to get you rescue your husband and blah blah blah.
Jeez.
Yeah, she's not the sharpest tool in the box, but she eventually comes to her senses. And after that, yeah, she's all friends again, and yeah, let's go. So,
Ooh,
proceeding further to the south, let's see, 24 miles would get you basically right at the Desserin Road. So you make your way there, and there you actually run into a cart being pulled by 2 horses along the road in the direction of Belliard. And Moog spots that and immediately just takes off at a run towards it, shouting, "Horses! Horses! Horses!" So you guys have to act quickly to try and stop her because it looks like she's got an idea in her head that that's tonight's dinner.
Okay. How are we going to stop her? I guess I could ape up, you could ape up, and we could try to
Oh,
start,
I was
like,
gonna
hold her
just
down.
immediately cast Hypnotic Pattern.
Oh, that would work too.
Distract her.
Oh, okay.
You want to try
Let's
that?
see, was that a whiz save? Well, she actually got a 15.
God
So
bless it.
what's that?
God bless it.
You can do it again, though, right? As she
Yeah,
gets
so
closer.
she actually,
It's true.
the horses are like bucking around all over the place, but they're tethered to this cart. And so the cart like takes off, but not before, it doesn't get very far before she collars one and snaps its neck. And that stops it dead. The other horse is just kind of rearing and bucking, but it's, like I said, actually fixated to the cart and can't get away.
I guess that's dinner.
Well, you want to do hypnotic pattern or
Uh,
persuade her to not kill the other one?
I mean, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
give it a whirl.
try Hypnotic Pattern again.
Okay.
Can't believe her wisdom's that high. Like it's
That
gotta be
time she
hard
rolled a
for her.
5,
not.
so
You just rolled
she
a-
Yeah, there you go.
she's now hypnotized. So she's just standing there holding basically the head of this horse that she ripped off and just kind of drooling off into the distance looking at these.
I assume the owner of the said cart is freaking
Yeah, I
the
was
fuck
going to say
out.
the driver of the cart is an older gentleman dressed in commoner's clothing. As soon as the giant ran at him, he basically, leapt from the bench that he's sitting on into the back of the car itself, which was actually filled with grain. And like once the giant is hypnotized, he like kind of slowly like peeks his head out of the grain, looks around. His
I
eyes are
say,
just like wide as.
Get out of here.
I'm like, sorry, she's hypnotized. We're really sorry.
Get him out of here.
And we only have a minute, so I
Take-
need to remove the other
unhitch
horse,
the-
that live horse. I want to save it.
Yeah.
So I want to untether it really quickly and get it away from the scene.
Well, you should untether the dead horse so that the live horse and the cart can get away with the guy.
Don't worry
riding
about
on
the cart. He can.
Guessing the
Come
cart
back
is
to the
probably
cart. Yeah.
I wanted to
Unhitch the live horse and let him take the live horse.
Okay, Groot, go ahead and make an animal handling to see. Unhitching the dead horse isn't a problem, but the live one is bucking around all over the place. So you can see if you calm the horsey down before he injures. So, okay, no problem. You're able to say some soothing words, and gradually the horse calms down. The cart driver, when you told him to take off, he just like bolted. He just like dove out of the cart and just ran back along the road in the direction he came.
Well, I click on my boots of speed to catch up to it. And I'm like, I'm really sorry about this. And I hand him 100 gold and I say, this is for your
Who
trouble.
the hell are you guys?
We're trying to prevent. It's a long story. We're the good guys. This giant is leading us somewhere, but hill giants aren't the brightest bulbs in the candelabra. So
What's a candelabra?
We're trying to take.
What's a
we're trying to take her to. She's leading us to the giant home, so we can prevent a greater problem. Here's 100 gold for your trouble. I hope that makes up for your loss of horse and cart.
He like kind of shakes the. I'm assuming you gave it to him in like a sack or something like that.
Yeah.
He kind of shakes it and jingles. And he's like, "Anything you say, can I go?"
Yeah, you could go. I just wanted you to not leave. I wanted to not leave you in a terrible position. At least you have some money to replace the horse and cart and whatever was in the cart.
Okay, you can see that he's just like shell shocked, but he's like, "Thanks for letting me live." And he kind of walks back along the road.
Hey, sorry.
Meanwhile, Moog is still kind of like staring raptly out into space. Well, this lasts up to a minute, so.
Is the other horse gone?
Well, Groot managed to calm the other horse and untether it. So I don't know. What did you want to do with it, Groot? Once you calm it down,
I'm gonna ride it away for a little bit so that it's safe, and then I will cast Speak with Animals and tell it it's free. Go on your merry way.
Okay. Does speak with animals let
It's-
let the horse actually communicate back to you, or is it more of a let's see, comprehend and verbally communicate with?
They can give you information.
It's
Yeah,
limited
with
by their
beasts.
intelligence, but they can give you information about nearby locations and monsters.
So yeah, she could.
So
talk
yeah,
back.
kind of limited
She can just say,
communication.
"Holy
The horse
fuck."
isn't that intelligent, but it kind of vaguely
What the
it
fuck?
expresses thanks for saving it from the big thing that killed
You're
its mate.
welcome.
And it will try and head home back the way it
Cool.
came.
All right.
Meanwhile, Moog, after a minute, comes out of her stupor and then kind of looks around blankly, and she forgot again.
Enjoy your meal.
Well, no, she actually starts to try and fight you guys again because she completely forgot who you were.
Moog,
So another performance check.
Moog, I
Not
brought you a
performance.
horse. Eat your
Persuasion.
meal.
Performance probably wouldn't do it. Persuasion would work.
I brought you a horse. Eat your meal.
Now, if you guys want to do a group check, you can, which would basically be an average.
I just rolled.
Okay. Well, that's enough. So you calm her back down again, and this time it takes hold a little bit more quickly. And
Moog, I hunted that horse for you. You're welcome.
oh, thanks, Moog. Starving, and she like just digs into the raw horse flesh, like the head of this horse that she's eating, and grain too. And she like tosses the horse's head off to the side, and she actually like dives head first into the wagon, which basically collapses it. The axles literally split and fall off on either side, and grain spills out everywhere. And she's like just kind of rolling around in the grain and shoving handfuls of it into her mouth. Important to get the carbohydrates.
Yep, eat up, Moog. You're welcome.
So yeah, the road is not completely blocked, but yeah, there's this massive cart now that's not going anywhere with this pile of grain on it. And after maybe 15 minutes of gorging herself on grain, she picks up the remains of the horse and kind of slings it over her shoulder and says, "Where we make camp."
Let's go off the side of the road a little ways.
All right, you're going to move some distance away from the road. How far did you want to
Yeah.
go?
Quarter mile.
Until we can't see the road anymore. So people can pass by without being noticed.
Okay. Yeah. So you make your way quite a ways away from the road, not enough to like risk exhaustion or anything like a forced march, but further away so that you're in a bit more discreet location. You make your camp, and the night passes uneventfully, and day 3 dawns. Moog wakes up, and another persuasion check is needed to make her remember that you guys are not trying to kill her, and you convince her anyway. Okay. So you
Damn it, Moog.
set yourselves off on another day's trek. Day 3 would get you to about the Somber Hills. So after a day's travel, that's about how far you get. You don't have any real meaningful encounters with anything, and you're able to make camp and eat and get your meals and everything without further incident. So unless you guys have any other changes and plans, we will move on to day 4.
Okay.
And another persuasion check will be needed. Okay.
Look at you
Yeah.
on a roll.
Yeah. I figured out what Moog needs to hear.
Yep. Whispering soft nothings into her ear. All right, another day's travel is pretty uneventful. The weather is starting to get a little bit soggy, but otherwise temperature is fairly comfortable. And again, this time when you're about maybe a half hour away from camp, you guys hear noises of something or some things large moving through the underbrush not too far away. And Moog kind of drops to the ground with a thud.
Okay, we should probably get down low.
And you guys keep down low, and you can hear heavy footfalls of at least, well, you can't really determine the quantity, but there are at least several giant like creatures moving within the vicinity. They draw kind of alarmingly close, but then pass on without stopping. And after they're gone, Moog kind of looks up and see you. At this point, you can kind of peek up over, that's a very tall, grassy area. You can kind of peek up over the grass and see the receding form of what looks like 4 adult hill giants moving roughly in the direction of Belliard.
Are they male or female?
You can't really tell from this distance, but Moog says that they're likely a raiding party from Grudd. So they're probably male.
Should we?
Okay.
Are any of them your husband?
Didn't smell Hook.
Okay.
Should we kill them for helping?
Well, we don't want Belliard to be raided, right?
Well, I'm gonna ask her. Should we kill them for helping? What's her? The
Moog,
lady you don't like.
Moog not want to fight giants.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. Should we kill them for helping? You said you didn't. You wanted to kill the people that helped. Goo. Should we kill them?
Moog doesn't care. Moog just wants to eat.
Do you want to eat them? I look frightened.
No, she kind of like raises her, widens her eyes and no. Kind of sick person are you? Do you eat other small folk?
No, that's why I was scared.
Giants don't eat other giants. At least not other hill giants. But anyway, she doesn't seem too concerned. She was mainly more worried about, getting captured or just, I don't know. She just seemed very wary about them and didn't want to get into a confrontation with them.
Okay.
I think we let him go. I don't know. Do you wanna? I mean, I know you're afraid of them going to Belliard, but do we wanna get into it right now? I guess.
It's up to you
I know.
guys.
I'm
What's going
glad
on?
you didn't have an
I'm-
easy answer because I didn't know either.
What's going on?
Okay, so we're camping out with, or we're heading down with her. We saw some other giants going to Belliard to raid it. Do we want to intercept them or not? She does not want to tangle with them because she doesn't want to fight other giants. These giants are going down to Belliard, presumably, I would imagine, to raid it for cattle.
They're going
Would that be a good
towards
assumption?
Belliard at least.
Yeah.
In the direction of. We don't know that they're a raiding party, but it's probably a safe assumption.
How many?
4? Was it?
Yeah, you saw 4 of them.
I could go warn them. I could change into an eagle, fly into Belliard, and then fly back to meet you guys.
What's your rate of speed?
As
As an
I think it's 80 or 120. Hang on. I think it's 80.
Because right now you guys are about 50 miles away, 45 miles away.
Oh, yeah, we're not. You're not gonna get to Belliard. It'll take you a day. Get there in a day to get back.
Do we know anybody in Belliard to send a message to do a sending?
Well, we have sending, so we can just send a message to our crew.
Yeah, but don't we have to know somebody there? Oh, to our crew? That's
Yeah,
true.
they
They're in
went. They
Belliard,
went
aren't
to
they?
Belliard.
Yeah, they
Let's
would
do that.
definitely have gotten if you. That's where you told them to go, so they would be there by now.
Then let's do that. Let's send something to them to warn the town that hill giants are headed their way, but we won't be there.
Okay. So you make contact, and they are indeed. They reached Belliard without incident. They're really bored. It's basically, just it's a cattle town. There's maybe like a tavern that sells like watered down ale. So they're like super bored. So this actually is kind of exciting news for them because they have something to do. What do you want done? Well, you can only send one message, but we will alert. I guess they would reply. You would have explained the mechanics of the spell to them before they left, so
Yeah, they understand.
right. So they would reply something along the lines of, "We will alert the townsfolk and have them prepare themselves accordingly."
Yeah, there's not a lot we can do.
Yeah, probably not a lot they can do either, but at least if they get advance warning, they may be able to better handle things than a surprise attack.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be at least less death if they know what's coming.
Right, right. Okay, so other than that, you guys are able to bunk down and take care of the food for the evening, and that was the only other interesting thing that happened until the next morning, which would involve another persuasion check. Excuse me.
Boy, I've done well 3 times in a row. I'm gonna screw up.
That's enough.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a high DC, just an annoying one. She seems less convinced of your sweet nothing mutterings this time around. Maybe she's getting tired of walking. But she says that this is we're getting more into territory that's closer to Grudd. So she says that you'll probably reach there by nightfall. And you probably don't want to get closer than a mile because they've got a big tower that can see for that distance around and see the whole countryside.
Let's set up camp outside of there then.
Well, again, yeah, she would not want to get closer than like a mile or so.
Yeah.
But
We'll set up camp a little more than a mile away.
Okay. So you want to travel throughout the night or travel throughout the day so that you make camp at night about a mile away from your final destination so that you can start fresh the next day. So you want to all right, well, let's take care of the day's travel. So you get to there, no encounters, night goes uneventfully, morning persuasion. Kyle, do you want to do that or do you want someone else to?
Oh, no, another persuasion.
Yo,
Ooh.
12, just made it. Yeah,
Oh,
maybe she's getting sick of you. I don't know, but she's still.
she's sick of hearing the same thing every
You
morning.
keep saying the same thing. Maybe it's starting to sink in that you're saying the exact same thing every single day. But she does. You do not get into a big fight over it, and so now you're about a mile away. At this point, the ground here, you're basically kind of in the Desserin River Valley. I don't know how close you can zoom into the area. But where you're at is literally probably like within a few hundred yards of the river itself. And looking down the river to the south, you do see distantly what looks like some kind of a structure. And from this distance, it must be fairly large, but not like huge. It looks like a single building, but there's some sort of other, like a dam or something built up around it. But it's right on the riverbank. And you can, well, it's a mile away, it'd be tough to make out details. There might be something that looks like a tower outside, but right now you're distant enough that you can kind of like keep out of the way in a hill a little bit, but getting much closer would give you kind of direct line of sight.
Okay.
I could go scout
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea.
as a bird.
Okay.
I wouldn't do giant eagle or anything they think they could probably eat or throw something at. I'd do like a raven.
Small enough that it's not worth their time.
Correct.
Or that blends in with the terrain as
Correct.
well. You know, there's plenty
Correct.
of crows
Yeah.
and such around, so a raven would definitely not draw undue attention. Just fly.
I can't imagine they would waste their time trying to kill ravens because it's a snack to them.
I will do that.
Such a
All right.
Let's
So
want to see
you-
what's up there.
You turn into a raven. Moog is completely shocked and surprised at this and then kind of claps her hands. But then she remembers that you turned into a giant ape and she's like, you should have turned into an ape. Not thinking very clearly, obviously, but that was apparently more impressive to her. But nevertheless, you kind of ignore her reaction and fly to the south towards this compound. And as you draw closer, you can see, yeah, it's basically a big outbuilding. Since you can fly from overhead, I think I can just move you to that map. Let's see. I believe I have it marked off correctly. So it's on the riverbank. Here, I'll move it over. I'll just move this over here. It's a big map. So you'll kind of have to zoom out. But it's basically on the riverbank. It consists of one very large building that's centrally located, and it's from the bank. The ground kind of drops away on the east side. It's like a series of kind of embankments. On the west side, it's more of like this dam that's obviously been built up around this structure. Although you can see there's lots of areas where the river has kind of broken through and is, running through these piles of logs that have been stacked up and, twined together and pitched with pitch. But that is generally what it looks like from the air. There's a very large pen of what look to be sheep, actually a series of pens, really a whole livestock area. You can see various figures standing amongst them that are not giant in size. They're actually medium-sized humans, or not humans, but humanoid medium-sized creatures. Actually, I'd say with a raven, your eyesight is fairly sharp. You can pick them out as it looks like they might be orcs that are tending the sheep.
Huh.
And you see in the tower, which is located over here, there are what look to be 4 larger humanoids with orange skin, monstrous humanoids. You think those might be hobgoblins? You see another hobgoblin occasionally strolling on the dock here. There's a fishing pole that he's got off to the side mounted. He occasionally takes that out and you see him casting and, catching fish and bringing them in. Other activity, you see every once in a while some goblinoids moving back and forth between the buildings. Some very small, like actual goblins, but you see other hobgoblins. Occasionally, what else is here?
So there's nothing on the roof. Nobody's up there. It's flat.
The roof is pitched, actually.
Oh, it's pitched. Okay. Are those windows, those triangle-shaped windows?
Yes, those look like they're windows, and there's a large opening at the front right there. You can see there's a hill giant who looks to be standing guard just inside that entrance.
Yeah, I want to
And-
go look in the windows.
Okay. Which window did you want to look at?
I want to look at.
Okay. So you flap over to there. I'll see if anyone takes notice of you doing so. Nope. Everyone's completely oblivious to your presence, so you're able to land on the window and look in. So I'm just going to go ahead and reveal the entire area because it's daytime and the windows provide natural light, and it looks like there's actually illumination coming from inside. The first thing that you notice when you stick your head in is the smell, and it smells terrible. Even in your bird form, you just about pass out and fall off the window from this horrible stench that's coming out of this room. Let's see. I'm going to have to choose a different tool here. Hang on. Not reveal, or not hide, reveal. Yeah, that's the sound you make. So you see a very large open chamber. See if I can get a description. First of all, it's lit by a whole bunch of oil lamps that are in iron sconces. They're mounted to thick wooden pillars. The roof peaks at about 65 feet overhead, coming down to maybe like 35 feet at the wall where this window is. There's a 10-foot wide, 20-foot high wooden ledge that circles around the whole room with a single ladder on the far side. Inside the room, what immediately gets your attention is this huge, enormously fat hill giant who is basically lolling in this kind of crushed cart or semi-crushed, just kind of laying back. She's literally so fat it doesn't look like she can move, and she's being tended by quite a number of other creatures. There's multiple goblins wandering about. There are 4 hill giants, actually 5 hill giants, 4 ogres, and yeah, that looks like it's about it. There's a bunch of wooden tables lining the north and south walls, and both the tables and the floor are just covered with gobs of grease, gnawed bones, empty casks, scraps of food, and just crap everywhere. There's stuff all over the dried mud floor, and in the center of the room you see 2 20-foot diameter circular holes that look like they're topped with these crisscrossing wooden beams that are held in place by some kind of mud or cement or something.
So there's a ladder. Does that ladder go somewhere, or is that just a ladder? Sitting
This
up against the
ladder
wall?
leads from the floor 20 feet up to this wooden walkway that spans
Oh, okay.
most of the room. And you see once in a while a goblin will like move over to it, climb it, and walk along it. Go ahead and make an intuition check.
Intuition. You mean insight?
I'm sorry, insight. Wrong edition. Okay, yeah, you kind of get the idea that maybe these goblins are using that walkway because you never see them walk directly across the floor. You get the idea that perhaps they're using that for safety to stay out of the way of these hill giants that are walking around. Maybe at some point one of them got squashed or something. So they never actually proceed directly across the floor. They always seem to go to this ladder and take that when they need to.
So I think I want to. Can I see down? It's pretty high. You said so. It's 65 feet up. From my angle, can I actually see inside the holes?
No, you're about. Well, the windows are about 25 feet or so off the ground. The center of the pitched roof is about 65 feet high, so the ceiling kind of comes up to a point.
Are there any rafters or anything up there that I could fly up to?
Yeah, there would be a few rafters that, because there's these wooden beams that support these kind of pillars that support, and then there would be rafters connecting them to the pitched ceiling.
Okay, well, I'm going to fly up there.
Okay. So you're able to find a rafter that lets you look down kind of into one of these circular holes. Looks like it's much darker down below. Make a perception check.
Perception check. That's better for me.
Okay. Well, for one thing, you can definitely tell that the smell is much stronger here. So it seems like whatever is causing this putrid odor is coming possibly from these holes in the floor.
Ugh.
It's hard to pick out details because it's darker down there and the boards crisscross, obscuring your vision. But you see multiple things moving around down there, and you hear a sound of what sounds like dozens or more of pigs squealing.
In the pit?
Yeah, coming from the hole.
Gross. That's got to. Ugh. So I'm going to watch for a while. What is Moog doing?
Goo,
is
you
he
mean?
just? Oh, sorry, Goo.
Yeah, I did the
What's Goo
same
doing?
thing.
Yep. What is Goo doing?
No, she's just basically sitting on her throne, which is what this wagon is. It's basically it's a four-wheeled flatbed wagon that bends and creaks under her great bulk. Axles are cracked and bowed. Its wheels kind of canted inward. Piled around it are bones and other refuse from what look like recent meals. You see a bunch of other treasure kind of scattered about there, possibly too.
So
You see that she never gets up. She always, occasionally, she'll shout at one of her attendants, I guess you'd want to call them, to bring her more food or, go get a bucket, that sort of thing.
okay.
But she never moves herself.
So
Make an
I think
intelligence check, actually.
intelligence check. Oh, that's not going to be good. Oh, I guess straight up intelligence.
Yep, just straight up intelligence.
Yep.
Okay.
So how far is it down? I guess what I want to do is I want to dash as a raven from down below. I'm going to go 50 feet down, which is half, and then I go 50 feet back up. I just want to get a closer look inside one of the pits. So like,
All right. I'm just going to move your token. I have you guys kind of loosely amassed off to the side because I had no idea which way you guys are going to be coming from. But I'll say this is you. And that's kind of where you currently, well, you'd probably be more directly between the pillars. But you'd be in the rafters, probably about 50 feet up. So you'd have to dive like 50. You want to go like straight down to that pit?
yeah,
And then,
straight down and then straight back up again. I
Are you
can move.
trying?
So if in a dash, I can move 100. So I just want to dash down, zoom over the grating, and get a look-see as to what's on the inside, and then zoom back up again.
Okay. Are you going to try and do this stealthily, or do you not really care about
Yeah, I'll try and time it when people are picking their noses or something.
which I'm sure there's a lot going on. Go ahead and make a stealth check, and I will just do a kind of a group perception check for the whole room.
Jesus Christ.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. So you fly down. You do get close enough to see beneath it. I'm not gonna. That's actually on a different map. What's down there? So, but I'm not gonna switch to it.
It's fine.
But basically, what's down there is what looks to be a cave that's been turned into a huge pig pen. You see there, the river is actually kind of seeping through a bunch of gashes in the walls and forming streams that kind of cut across and through this area. But it is lit, and milling around amongst all of the, or inside this cave, you do see literally dozens of pigs, literally scores, I should say, of pigs waddling around, wallowing in the mud. In addition, you see at least 7 bugbears kind of tending all of these pigs, and a 2-headed giant, well, an Etten, who looks to be kind of in charge of them all. So you see that, and then, swoop back up to the rafters, but you did draw the attention of multiple people in the room. So I'm going to say roll some initiative. And here's where it might get dicey.
So are we all over there on the right?
No, you guys are a mile away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just
okay.
had you there because I
This
didn't
is
know where
really
you'd
just
be
group.
coming from.
Yep. Okay. Got it.
It's actually an ogre that noticed you. So I'm just going to add. Just going to add these ogres to the initiative order. Back. Wrong one. My group initiative isn't working. Here, let me move this window over closer. This may not matter too much. Okay. Well, they're all going to go after you do. So you basically see that they've caught you've caught their attention, and they kind of pull out some javelins and look like they're going to move towards you.
A raven. Yeah, whatever. I fly out. I dash and I fly out. 100
Okay.
gets me out the window.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely move way faster than they do, but it looks like, yeah, they were just. It's not like the whole place went on alert. It's just these ogres happened to spot you doing that, and you don't know if you're treated as an intruder or maybe they just wanted you for a snack for Chief Goo. But you're able to escape, so.
There's no windows on the back at all, right?
Nope, there were
Those
three windows. In that room, you saw that there was an opening on the right, or on the left, excuse me, or
Sorry,
west. There was a big mud spattered curtain partitioning what looked to be maybe the front entryway, and then there was a separate, very large portcullis separating, going out to another area also to the east. The only other entrance was the window to the north and the other window to the south.
So are there no windows in this section down here that's blacked out?
Which section specifically? No windows there.
Oh, okay. And what are the red squiggly lines?
Those are, like I said, kind of a mud spattered rug or boundary.
Okay, so
Curtain,
rug
that's
door.
the word I'm looking for. Yes.
All right. I'm gonna fly back to the party and tell him what I saw.
Okay. So he comes back after probably about, I don't know, not too long. It didn't take him long to do all that and fly. He has a fast fly speed. You're only a mile away. So he comes back, and do you revert to human or to elvish form and communicate your findings?
I will. That's a lot of giants.
Couple.
I could.
Want to try talking to her first?
Sure. But I don't know how well that's going to go. Well, will Moog even put up with that? What did we promise her?
I don't know. Promised her help her get her husband
Okay.
back. Do we know which one's her husband?
She can smell him.
Well, I'm just wondering if we can contact him.
Can
Like,
you just
did
can
he
you
wanna leave
describe
her, or does he-
your husband?
Big, kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Not
Hruk,
all hill giants look the same.
Hruk.
They're not cloning them.
Yeah, well, it's she says that it's kind of she doesn't really isn't able to describe him in terms that you would be able to identify him. Just she gives you like a vague description, like he's big and fat and hairy. He's got a big pot belly. He talks slowly and likes to scratch himself and smells like
That sounds
maybe
very familiar.
yeah. You generally get the idea that you wouldn't be able to tell. He's not like he's wearing a name tag or anything either. So
we can at least tell why it was love at first
exactly,
sight.
yeah, it looks like they would have been made for each other.
So there's a lot of giants in there. I'm second guessing. I can do more recon. Try and look behind some of those mud curtains. I would do it as a bird. They fly pretty quick. But yeah. I don't know what we would do. To me, I would pull them out. Wouldn't want to fight them all at once.
No.
Moog,
But if we can
Moog
get him
isn't
on
gonna
our
fight,
side,
right?
we can figure. Right. But could Moog get in touch with him? Like, is there any way she can signal him or help us signal him?
She doesn't know of a way to get in touch with him. She doesn't know where he is. And based on your description of the giants you saw in that chamber, she she doesn't think. Yeah, she doesn't know. She couldn't say for sure if one of the ones you saw was Hruk or somebody else. But based on her description, it sounds like he would be more of the stay-at-home type and not one of the ones that normally would go out for raiding parties. So
Okay.
it's
So he's a lover,
yeah,
not
exactly.
a fighter.
It's likely he's somewhere in the compound, but whether he's in the throne room, as she calls it, or somewhere else.
Okay.
Well, what do you think? Should I do more recon to count all the giants up, or do we have a plan that, hey, let's let some of the sheep go and see if we can cause a ruckus? And then do what? I don't know.
I'm up for whatevs.
So the goal right now, we would need two things: the conch and the husband. I guess I would be up for more recon. That way we can see things, and I would then cast Pass Without Trace before I shapeshifted, so I could be plus 10 stealth for an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, within an hour, you should be able to, if you're moving quickly, you should be able to flit around most of the areas.
That's what I will do. So I'm gonna wait, because just in case they see me and something happens and yada 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 blah blah blah, I want an extra shape change. So I'm gonna wait an hour to do a short rest to recharge them all, and then I'll head out.
Okay. So this would be probably close to 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning at this point. You're able to do that and you fly back out. Why don't you just kind of ping the areas you want to encounter? So
I think I would still go in. Is this a giant open door at the front of the?
yeah, it just looks like a giant opening. In fact, I'll just kind of reveal that because you can kind of see through it when you fly down onto this level. This is kind of elevated from the area below where the campground is and the sheep. This is actually like a path that leads up from the ground below. But this, you can fly up to this area, and even like if you land on like this rock or something, you can see pretty plainly down that hallway, and see that it ends in a red curtain, and there's another red curtain off to the side, and there's a single giant standing guard there, looking kind of doleful, but not terribly alert. I mean, he doesn't really pay you any attention at all.
Okay. I think what I'm going to do is, you said it was pretty high here again. I'm going to try and sneak into this room down here.
Wait, I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, okay. So you're going to try and fly through the curtain?
Yeah, above or below or whatever.
Okay, so let's see. So the entryway inside this area. Just trying to see if there's a description of these curtains. They're curtains of stitched animal hide held in place with iron spikes. They're thick enough to intercept arrows and crossbow bolts fired through them. Does require a strength check to pull them down, but you probably could make your way past them. Make a strength check in bird form.
Okay.
I'm just kind of curious if you can actually make your way through these things, because it is a pretty heavy curtain.
14.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So you're able to kind of flit past them. Once you get past the curtain, you see another room. And again, immediately the smell, which wasn't as bad in the entryway, kind of redoubles. And if anything, it's worse than in the main throne room. And you see there's another circular pit in the center of this room, which leads down. And again, you hear the squealing of pigs and echoes of them moving about below. So it looks like this is another access to that area, or not an access, but a opening to that area. And there's, in this room, you see 4, what are they on? They're filthy pallets strewn around the hole in the floor, and laying on them, apparently asleep, are 5 orcs.
Okay. I will fly back out.
Okay.
I'm going to go into the window on the north side.
Okay, you're going to circle around to the north
Yep.
of the throne
And then
room?
I'm going to fly down and go in and out through that portcullis to see what's back there.
Okay. The portcullis looks like it's pretty heavy, but not nearly as heavy as like the ones that you saw in Iron Slog. This is actually made out of wood, but in any case, the bars are enough apart that you can actually, a small creature could squeeze between them. So you're able to fly in with little to no problem. Inside, you see 2 cells. Inside of each cell has a set of latch wooden gates, and each one has 2 wolves in each one.
Like dire type or just regular?
Look like they're just regular wolves.
Okay. Well, I'm going to continue.
They kind of like sniff you as you flap in, and they kind of raise up and look interested. Like, hey, are you dinner?
I fly right back out.
Okay.
And I'm going to head straight up into the rafters and back down to the other side there with that open door.
Okay. For that, I'd say make another stealth check to see if you can avoid being spotted. And I'm not going to roll for everyone. Let's do a group check.
36.
Okay. I'm not even going to bother rolling. Okay. So
I rolled a natural 20.
Yeah, nice. They don't even know you're there. So you fly through that opening. That reveals what looks like it might be a kitchen. Floor is covered with mud, dirty pots, leftover food crawling with maggots. In the center of the room, there's a crackling fire in a dome-shaped fireplace. You see 6 goblins that are tying a halfling to a wooden spit and stoking the fire. More dirty pots are piled atop 2 wooden tables, one of which has a hand axe embedded in one of its legs. Shelves packed with clay, dishes, and wood utensils line the walls, and there's a passageway going to the north and an open passageway going to the west.
So is the halfling dead?
No, it's alive. He is alive. And yeah, he's looking terrified, and you see basically like tears running down. He's definitely not armed, and the goblins are kind of cackling with glee and joking and stoking up the fire. It looks like they're basically going to burn him alive.
Yep, I'm going to do something stupid. So, this is my plan. I am going to, as a bonus action, drop
Right,
my.
I would say you
So
are
I was-
probably like about here-ish, but towards the ceiling.
Okay, that's fine. But so the plan will be, I will fly near the halfling. I will drop my. Uh, actually, you know what I'll do? I'll drop my my bird form. Hang on, I'm planning it out. Drop my bird form in the rafters, and then I will jump down from the rafters as a change into an ape as I go down and land down. Superhero landing. What I want to do is I want to scare the goblins, and I don't want to fight anybody. I just want to scare the shit out of them with a big ass gorilla. I'm gonna pick up um, the uh, the halfling, and I'm gonna bolt out. And what? It's just a river there on the other side, right?
As far as you know, yeah, you didn't really explore. You know, there's a dock over there, but beyond that, you're not sure.
I'm bolting out that way and going into the river. with
Okay,
them.
so I will say that you can kind of start like here up in the air. Actually, no, you'd be. Hang on, there's a big. Give me a second. I just want to move this. There's a big number 5 over there. I'm going to move that into the fire because that's somewhere you won't be. Okay. So I will bring up the initiative counter, and you go ahead and roll. I will roll for the goblins.
I'm assuming I at least get some kind of surprise, something.
Well, it all depends on initiative.
Okay.
I will actually allow you to, once I get initiative set up, I will see if you get a surprise round. Okay. Wow, they actually rolled fairly well. Okay, so if you want to try and take them by surprise, why don't you try a stealth check, and we'll see if any of them notice you.
$35.
Okay, 35. This would be their passive perception of 9, which none of them would notice you. Okay, so I will say first round, you basically get a free round, and they won't be able to react.
Okay, so I'm going to bonus action. I want to be, sorry, I wanted to be like, I don't want to drop on the halfling by accident. Sorry. That was I didn't want to drop on the halfling by accident. I don't want, 800-pound gorilla crushing the person he's trying to save.
Okay.
Anyway, so bonus action is drop that. Next action is to cast polymorph self into a giant ape, and then as I land on the ground, I should have a move action, and I would do that, picking up the halfling and moving if possible.
Okay. So you would be there.
Yeah, like right there. If I land on one, like yeah. I guess I wasn't planning, and then I would have enough reach to grab him. I'm hoping that I scare the shit out of him. Get like an
Okay.
intimidate check.
All right. So you do this. You drop out of the rafters. So you basically assume your normal elven form, I'm assuming, when you do this, because you can't cast the spell in bird form,
Correct.
right?
As a bonus action, I go into elven form, and then I cast the spell, and I drop down.
Okay, so you cast polymorph and then drop down. Okay.
Yes.
Um. Okay. Well. Okay. I'm gonna still say you get the surprise round, even though the spell would have a verbal component. They would then notice you, so they hear the sound of spell casting. They don't immediately, catch on where it's coming from, but you transform into a giant ape. The rafters apparently are strong enough to hold you even in giant ape form, so you're able to drop, do your superhero landing, and do your like tremendous.
Yep.
And then we'll go to the initiative. So let's see. The first goblin is the one furthest away from you. He squeals like a little girl in absolute abject terror at this giant ape that just landed in front of him. Let's see, what would he do? Yeah, okay, so he books out of the room. His movement speed is 30, so he can go 5, 10. He's going to dash. Yep, so he dashes into the other room. And next goblin does the same thing, as does this goblin. He runs through your reach. I think you have a 10-foot reach, do you not?
Yes.
So you could get an opportunity attack if you want.
Sure, it'll add to the scariness of my
Okay.
being. Well,
All right.
if I do that, I won't be able to dash, though, right?
Oh, right. No, an opportunity attack. No, you used your bonus action. That's right. To
Yep.
drop. So you don't
So
get an opportunity. So
Yep.
so he runs past you. You don't get an opportunity attack, but he gets to about there, out of the room. And same with this guy. They're all shrieking as they go. He goes running out, and now it's your turn.
Okay. I pick him up and I do a double move out through the curtain. I want to go out. I'm assuming it's that dock.
Okay.
So hang on. So I'm going right for the water, so I can basically get through the curtains.
All right. Okay. Then.
What did I see as I went through?
Oh, yeah. Let me just reveal that. It's just basically kind of a hallway.
Okay.
Oops. I've got to roll another initiative. Yeah. Okay, he's named, but he doesn't have his own token. So give me a second here. I got to pull up a stat block. Lair. Okay, so that's next set of goblins get to go. When does he go? Did I miss him? Oh no, he had to go too. He runs out of the room. I'm just keeping your token, your old token, where it was. It won't actually be there because you're an ape. Out of the curtain adjacent to you, the hobgoblin that was doing all the fishing you saw earlier, he steps out and sees basically a giant ape running around with a halfling tucked under his arm. And he apparently walks around with a longbow as well, because he kind of shrugs that off of his shoulder and takes a shot at you. Does 18 hit you?
Yes.
Okay, so 6 piercing from an arrow from a longbow. And he shouts out, "God, giant ape under attack!" And I need to add some of the other denizens. Just roll for here. The guards in the tower heard that, so they will join initiative order now. Wow. Okay. Okay. So, they hear this in the tower, and they strike an enormous gong that's hanging in the tower that resounds and rings throughout the entire compound. And they also get a shot at you with a longbow. Well, no, actually, that one that rang the gong doesn't get a shot at you. Another one, though, does. So he fires
Isn't
at
this
you.
a wall? It's a wall.
Oh, yep, you're right. You're right. He wouldn't be able to see it. That's a solid wall.
Yeah, that's why I was going this way.
Yep. Okay. So never mind.
Yep.
Ignore that last
Yep.
that last attack. But the gong does ring out, and they're looking around and being alert. But they so far can't see you because you have a wall between them and you. All the goblins took off. That goblin can't see you, so it's your turn.
I take the human, halfling, and I dash. Whoa, come on, select that. I do a dive into the water, and I want to get 80 feet. Actually, I'll do a swan dive, like my last 5 feet. I'll jump as
Okay.
far as I can.
Run off the
Actually,
edge of the
with
dock.
my ring of jumping, I'm gonna go really far.
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to be in the water.
Okay, so you do basically a headlong dive off the edge of this pier into the
Protecting
water.
my halfling. I
With the
don't want him
halfling
thinking-
still tucked under your arm, his eyes just wide with absolute terror. So the guards did have a readied action. I will say there's a 50-50 chance that they would have been facing in your direction. Actually, they probably would have been facing in your direction because that's where the yell came from. So I'm going to say each of them gets a shot off as you break cover. And what's the range here? Let me just make sure. 140. Longbow has, I believe, 150 range. So you'd still be within regular range for them. So shot 1 misses. 14, does that hit?
14 hits.
Okay, so 3 piercing from that. Third shot was hit a 22.
Yep.
That does 8 piercing.
I'm going to use my inspiration and make it.
Keep your gorilla form or grade 8
Yep.
form. Okay, and last shot missed.
Woo.
All right, so you dive off the pier and go into the water, and you kind of submerge a little bit, and you're going to have to surface eventually for air. But you're staying in ape form while you're swimming with
For
this
now. Yep.
halfling?
For now.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, he's kind of sputtering and choking, but you managed to kind of keep his head aloft out of the water and swim. Now you're going to be impeded movement-wise. Make a stealth check with disadvantage to see if you can avoid being spotted while you're swimming in the water with this halfling that's splashing about. Okay, that was pretty average. Paul, go ahead and make us. Okay.
7 was my worst.
7. I see 2 separate rolls totaling 24.
Right. So the first 20 was 5 plus 2. Second 20 was 17 plus 2 in ape form.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, I see 2 separate stealth checks each. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
You said disadvantage, so
Oh, right. So it
the
would
worst
be
one would be 7.
basically be 7. Okay, so they got basically 10 as their initiative or as their group perception. So they did spot you. They're going to fire at you. I'm going to give them disadvantage on their attacks because you're partially submerged in the water. 15.
Yep.
So 4 piercing. 6 would miss. 14 also hits for 9 piercing. And last, missed. Okay, so what is your movement rate while swimming? I'm going to say you'd be half movement carrying this guy.
20.
Okay, so 20. So you can go about 20. Was 20 your half movement or
20 would be my half movement. So if I dashed half, I could move 40.
40 feet. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be tough. You're
Then
going
I
in-
will then I would turn into a something that can swim and drag him along with me, like whatever, like a giant gar or something. I don't know, something fishy or something crabby. I don't know. For that swim. Sorry, what do I
terms of-
have?
Are you talking about a polymorph or are you talking about a
Oh yeah, I guess as polymorph, I can do whatever I want. But I was going to do this since they're all bonus actions and abilities. I was going to do a beast shape.
Yeah, if you're going to do a beast shape, then you could. I mean, a giant frog would likely be amphibious. Probably the snakes would be able to swim while having the halfling kind of coiled around in your tail. I don't have stats for other things, but you would have observed. In terms of a fish, though, you wouldn't be able to really carry the halfling, though, because it doesn't really have limbs. I mean, you could assume any other form, but none of them would have his.
The python can swim at 30, so that's a really good. It's a really good idea, GM. I will do that so that I
Okay,
can
so-
damage 60.
All right, so then you can move 60, but you're going to stay in the water. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a map of the overall river beyond what you see here on this map. Are you making for?
I'm making for it looks like the east, towards the party.
Okay,
I
yeah,
want to make a giant loop around, swim away, and then loop back around so that I can eventually. I want to swim first, and then when I'm done, I'm going to turn back. I think I would turn back into an eagle, maybe. I don't know. I want to be able to get the halfling to the party because they're going to be worried as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Why didn't I
alright.
just do that? Sorry, can I redo that and just say I'm gonna turn into a giant frickin' eagle and just pick them up and go?
How many beast shapes do you have?
Well, that's why I rested, so I got one more left,
Um,
and then I got
make
a
an intelligence check to see if you can kind of catch yourself before you trigger your beast shape.
No, I was asking the question if. Okay, hang on. Sure. What do you want me to do?
I'm saying that you started to want to turn into
A snake.
a snake, and then you changed your mind. So I'm going to say if you make an intelligence check, DC 10, if you make it, you caught yourself in time, so you don't use your beast shape. Okay, no problem. Quick-witted, quick on your feet. So you're able to turn into a giant eagle if you want immediately.
Yeah, I think that I would do that.
Okay, and you can carry him in your talons and rise majestically from the water, holding the halfling aloft. I would say your speed, I'm sure fly speed is more like 120. I would say that the hobgoblins get one more round of shots at you before you get out of range.
That'd probably be at their longer range, though.
Yes, well, they're already well, they were disadvantaged before in the water. Now they'd be disadvantaged from distance, so it's still disadvantage. Longbow, 8 would miss. 10 likely still misses.
Yep.
10 misses again. And one of them snapped his bowstring. So, you don't get hit with any more arrows, and you manage to fly out of sight. The rest of the party, you guys hear this massive gong go off, and Moog becomes agitated and says that, "Oh, the gong tower, your friend's been spotted." So how would you guys naturally react to this? It would probably take Groot about, I don't know, with all of this, probably a few minutes, like 4 or 5 minutes to get back to you guys. Well,
We'd start heading there, assuming he's in trouble. But
really, you guys would
assume we'll
really
meet him
think
on
that
the-
you would, of all the things that I can change into, you'd think that I would be you're worried about me to come after me?
Well, we're not going to get there. I mean, I assume we'll meet you as you're heading back to
Yeah.
us, wouldn't you? I mean, we would still move closer to help support you. But
okay. So you start approaching. Moog is like, she doesn't want to attack or do anything. She's like terrified by the sound of the alert and everything like that, thinking, "Oh, we're all going to get caught and killed." But Groot, you managed to come back within like 5 minutes or so. So you're in a giant eagle form, and the party notices that you're carrying this halfling dangling by your talons. I'm assuming you don't just drop him on the ground, but land and allow him to regain his footing. And he's just like terrified. You see, he's still actually bound, so he can't move or run away. But he's just looking at you guys in mortal terror.
Who are you?
He's
Sorry, I'm on mute. I say sorry. Here's a
What's wrong?
prisoner. I
Yeah, you're
turn
a
back to
bird,
the
so you
elf
just
form and say
squawk.
that, hey, here's the prisoner.
I think we would suspect it's you, knowing what we
I-
know.
Oh, yeah, but I would ask who the halfling is.
He was
Who
a
are you?
prisoner.
Okay, the halfling kind of looks over at you, and he's still kind of in shock, but he stammers out, "I'm Roderick."
Oh, Roderick, I couldn't
Well-
stand seeing you being eaten, so I go over
I'm
to
sorry.
him and
Did you revert to?
yes, I remember.
Yeah,
okay.
he said
I'm
that,
sorry, I
yeah.
missed you saying that. Okay, so
Awesome.
all right, so
And
yeah,
And I want to go over and just cut him free.
okay, so he's you cut his bounds, and he's kind of looks around and he says, "Who are you guys?"
Aren't we something like the Magnificent Seven or something? Is there a superhero team that we're a member of?
Magnificent Seven, yes.
What are we?
7 samurai, 5 samurai.
The We Suck Less, the tribe of We Suck Less. So we're adventurers from distant lands, and we're here to get her husband and steal a conch from the hill giant in there. That's what we're here for. And I found you, and I didn't want you to be
Stuff.
eaten, so I saved you.
Wow. That I've never seen anything like that, much less experienced it, but you literally saved my bacon.
You have bacon?
I almost was bacon.
Yes.
Moo goes,
So where are you
bacon.
from?
I'm I'm a shepherd. I farm the nearby lands. My farm is about 30 miles away from here, but I was taken prisoner by these hill giants. And they took my sheep too, as you can see. That's part of the flock there. So I got to figure out a way to rescue them.
Of course you do. um,
Just to be clear, you don't have to. You,
Oh, I have to. It says right here in the
You-
text.
you don't.
Though he's grateful to be rescued, he
Wait, wait, wait.
refuses to leave without taking some sheep for his
Oh.
trouble.
well, if he, yeah.
Or you guys, it seems like you guys are pretty good at stirring up a ruckus, although they probably are going to be coming out this way pretty soon. So we might want to reconnoiter and approach this from a
Yeah.
different angle, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, again, you hear the, well, they're not ringing the gong anymore, but you hear the sounders shouting from a mile distant even. And you can, even at this distance, you start to see larger forms emerging along with a bunch of smaller ones kind of fanning out. They saw which direction the eagle flew, so they're heading in your direction.
Okay. Well, I vote that we go in a completely opposite direction.
Okay. So the party's going to.
And maybe off kilter somewhere in some direction.
Okay. So you're
Like
going to actually
southeast
try
or
and
west.
run off in a different direction.
Actually,
not gonna-
how many people are in our party?
Well, you've got the five of you. You've got Moog. You've got Felgalos in halfling form. And now you also got Roderick.
It says you and my companions. So everybody's my companions. So I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace, and we're going to leave no tracks, no traces of our passage.
Okay. Yeah, so you didn't have it cast on the way there, so they probably would be able to follow your back trail, but with Pass Without Trace cast, they would not be able to tell, really. It's unlikely that they'd be able to tell which direction you went. So I'm not going to do a set of, arduous skill checks or contests or anything like this. We'll just say, kind of hand wave it and say that you guys sneak off in a direction tangential to where you had originally approached from. And while they send a bunch of hobgoblins and giants and some of the orcs and a bunch of other critters out kind of scouring this countryside, if you guys keep moving, you would be able to avoid being captured. But you'll probably need to move more than a mile away and find some kind of a hidey hole. Moog is probably familiar enough with the area that she would be able to locate like some, if not a cave, at least some kind of a depression area that would be like a hidey hole that you guys could hide in that's not too distant. So I'm just going to say that she leads you there and you're able to, with the Pass Without Trace, get there without being followed. So you reach there. By that time, it's probably close to mid-afternoon. So you've kind of stirred up the hornet's nest. Now, what are you going to do next?
Well, I want to talk, theoretical Roderick. So get him fed, give him some gooseberries or blueberries or whatever we give him,
Yes,
and tend to his wounds. But then we need to know about the happenings within the routine inside of the Grudd Hall, whatever it is.
Well, he wasn't actually injured at that point. While malnourished, he doesn't appear to be actually wounded, but he says that he didn't see a great deal of the compound. What he saw when he was brought in, he was captured by a single hill giant. And from there, he was brought down to the caverns beneath, which you haven't seen yet. But he kind of roughly describes them. Basically, in the area below. I didn't want to move the whole party there. In the areas below, there's the huge, enormous pig pen, which takes up the bulk of the cavern. But in addition to that, there's an area off to the north, which is kind of separated by some kind of fencing to keep the pigs out. But a number of cages where he says he was held prisoner in cages. There were, in addition to him, a bunch of other people. There was one cage had human farmers, a father, a mother, and their 3 children, a teenage boy and 2 boys. Teenage girl and 2 boys. There was another cage that had looked like some sort of a tribal warrior who was captured. And there was a third cage that had a half elf who, he didn't know much about them.
Well, I think we should rescue some prisoners. So theoretically, it's pig. So there's a cavern, the pigs, and then we can get up through those holes if necessary, right?
Well, the holes that you saw were boarded up and they were secured with mud or cement or something to hold the boards in place.
But the pit, they look open. That's not. Sorry, that is not open.
A medium-sized creature could squirm through, but there was a sizable distance between them and the floor beneath. The cave was about 30 feet below the ceiling where the holes were.
Okay.
He did confirm that there are 7 bugbears and an Etten basically guarding the pig area, and there's 2 additional bugbears that would guard the prisoner.
So where underneath this is the cavern a ways away, or is it right underneath?
Right underneath was the pig pen. The prison area was actually more like I got the wrong tool selected here. Sorry. The prison area was. Oh Jesus, I'm on the wrong map actually. Like this area here, that's where you see that kind of all those logs and everything are. So it's that's kind of the ground uprising, and it's kind of tucked there underneath that area.
So underneath the dock, because what I'm seeing the Grudd hog, so that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
So
it's
right
it's beneath the Grudd
Okay.
logo or title.
All right.
So north of the pig pen area is directly under these holes and the one where the orcs were sleeping. And he said there's other areas too. There's an area where they like prepare, where they'd take pigs into, and he'd hear sounds of slaughtering. Occasionally he'd see a prisoner taken in there, and you'd hear horrible sounds of slaughtering coming from that other place. So that must be like the abattoir off to the west. And he would occasionally see hill giants moving around in a cave to the east. So the cave or the hill giants, he thinks, maybe quarter in that area, in the cave off to the east.
So there are hill giants in the cave below.
Occasionally he says that's where they normally would sleep.
Okay. So we're either trying to steal this conch. Did he ever actually? Let's ask him. Did he ever see this giant conch-looking thing? Ever?
Nothing like that. No, he actually never even got into the throne room.
Hmm.
So he never even saw goo. He was brought up from the area below, in the area you didn't explore on the map, off.
Would he be able to describe it?
Would he be able to describe what?
That area that I haven't seen.
It looked like a larder, and there
Okay.
was basically a ladder that went down through a hole in the floor to the abattoir caves beneath.
Medium size or giant size ladder?
He says that the rungs were about 3 feet apart, so it'd be awkward to move. You'd probably be going half movement, but you could try.
So it's giant size.
It's sized for giants, but you would be able to climb it or
Sure.
descend it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just reveal that area since you got a description of it close enough. There's nothing super special. No, reveal. Roll 20, reveal.
Well, personally, I'm interested in saving the slaves or the prisoners, or lunch meat, whatever they are.
Lunch
I
meat.
don't know what you guys. I don't know what you guys think.
Yep. And Roderick wants to save some sheep. And Moog still wants to rescue her husband. So, I think since we didn't have Dave join us or Don as well, it might be a good idea to pause here at a breaking point, and hopefully they get a chance to review what happened, and maybe you guys can touch base and come up with a plan for how you want to tackle this scenario. But it sounds like you've got multiple prisoners, one giant to rescue. Roderick wants to rescue his sheep, and now at least you have some idea of the forces that you'll be encountering, although you have not seen the caves beneath in terms of its layout. But from the way it's been described, it's a very, very large open area, but there's lots of pigs running around, and the ground is pretty nasty and slippery and gross. So there may be a few hazards. There's the river runs through it, like I said, as well. So you have kind of a rough idea of what you'll be in for, but not the specifics.
Okay.
So anyway, you've riled them up, but so far they have not caught you, and you may still have a way to get the element of surprise. We shall see. But I'll start up again next time, and hopefully we'll have a full crew.
All right. Thanks.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll catch you later.
Bye.
Talk to you later.